public record is not a private. CNIC is your record, but it's a public record whenever whatever it is being demanded by the concerned authority. If it is not demanded by the concerned authority, then it's a totally your public record. Similarly, your degree after 6 or 4 months after completing the 4 semester and doing internship and doing internship certificate and Viva at Islamabad, you will definitely able to get the degree of MLIS. And what will be your degree? Your degree is in your sense, it is a public record, but in other sense, it is a private, because whenever whatever you apply for the job, people are asking about that. Show your degree. Without degree, people will not give you a job without showing your degree. So in some cases, it's your public property, but did not show the publicly. I have seen so many cases, and because I'm member of 1 or 2 your groups, I'm seeing that you are just take the screenshot and share with the public that where the name of your individual, like the information belongs to you, other people's information is also involved. But other people don't want to show that information and share the publicly. But without taking the consent, you are sharing with the publicly. It's not a good habit. So be careful about that. It's ethically, it's not a good practice in a foreign as well as ethically, it's not a good practice. I am seeing that if you are taking the screenshot from any government website or information, you are just seek the permission that you have to write to public that information in any specific forum. So you have to seek the permission for that, and then you have to share. If it is a press release, that's okay. If it is a press release for the public purpose. So it's a marriage certificate, which is generally we know as a Nikanama. What will happen that it is a evidence, but it is not shown for the publicly, because it's your private document. But in a cases, if the court of law is demanding that show your marriage certificate, you have to produce that officially, that I am husband of Flana and I am wife of Flana. But it's a record for the public. No one wants to know that. Similarly, your birth certificate is a record. It's a record. It's a public document, but for it's apart from your side. It's a use for the private purpose. If there is some need, then you will show that. It is not you have to birth certificate you want to share. I'm saying that the people are just taking the clips with their personal documents, their family documents, and sharing on the WhatsApp. There's an article regarding which is published by the Oxford University Press, what to be public and what not to be public. Because being as an information professional, we should know that what to be public and what not to be public. I hope you all guys, being the mature and well librarian and well productive future information specialist, so you have to know that personal document and public document, what is the difference between, and what to be public and what not to be public, and what information should be private and what information should not be private. So this are being the example I faces that we should not use that kind of practices on our WhatsApp group and social media accounts. We have to be careful about that. So for all these notes, I will come to the second point. Again, Farhana is saying that she is facing a voice problem. Besides Farhana, anyone else who is facing the problem, please mention. So I will check my side. Otherwise, if you all guys feel okay, then there is no need to mention. Anyone who wants to help me, please mention on the chat box if you can hear me. If I'm Are you audible to you all, guys? Just mention on the chat box. I'm audible to you all. Thank you. Thank you. And then business record, your company bank statement. If you have a company, if you have any organization, you're maintaining the account, it's your own. It's not a public record. It's a bank account. How many transactions you have, your company have. But sometimes you have to public, because if you are take part in a tender that I can complete that record, that project. So you have to mention the financial strength, what kind of a financial strength you have company. So you are showing that your bank statement, and you public that our company is being able to do that because we have a strong financial strength in that field, and experience as well as the financial strength. If in another thing, the licensing. If you have a pharmaceutical company, if you have any manufacturing, something else beside the medicine and beside the pharmaceutical, if you are manufacturing that, any construction company, like you have just a small part of the business, if you have any skill of electrician, then people are asking you, do you have license of electrician? Do you have a wireman? Do you have dispenser? In a small cases, because people want to do work with any specific person who is the reliable, who is the authentic. Because if someone asks you, I will take a job, I will give you a job of librarian, do you have MLIS degree? Because I rely that a librarian is an information personnel should have an MLIS degree, because he has a good understanding of information as well as good understanding of and knowledge of information, as well as the maintain the library. So it is a guaranteed things. We need the licensing, but it's a private. People are not hanging their license on their neck, and they are just showing that I'm license holder, because it's their private document. When did they pass their license? When did they got the license, and where did they got the license? It's a private matter. So I hope you guys understand that. And then we will move for the third business record, which is called the taxation record. Taxation record is also called sometime a business record, that you are providing, you are paying the tax, you are how much you have to pay the tax, and how much revenue is being fall from your own side. Because if you are paying mobile charges or internet charges from the PT cell, and advance taxes has been deducted from your side, and it's your public record, you may say that I need my tax statement from your cellular phone company, what tax you have been deducted from since whole year. So it's your public record, but it's not for the private matter. You don't disclose that to everyone. I have paid that kind of a tax. I'm the highest taxpayer. In some cases, you have to require it, because in some cases, people are asking you, bank is asking you, either you are filer or not filer. So you are tell them, I'm filer. You got the privilege because you are the filer. If you don't have privilege, so that means if you are not a non-filer, that means you have don't privilege to get the information. Frasat Hussain, he is saying that he's faced the voice distortion, or voice is the cutoff whenever she, I don't know, he or she, Frasat Hussain. So anyone else who is facing the voice problem, so we'll continue. And we have talked about the third important type, then the Kusai public record. Kusai public record is some type of a secret record, but which is demanded by the public, so you have to publish it. So it is a third type of record, which is known as a Kusai public record. Like you will, there's a crisis 2 decades ago, or 5 decades ago in We have our eastern part, our eastern shoulder is being cut off, which is being come into being in Bangladesh, and there is a report is being created by the Justice Hamudur Rahman Commission. Hamudur Rahman Commission is constituted, and the report is being public with the demand of the people. And similarly, Kusai public report is any military agreement or treaty which is demanded by the public. We need that kind of information. What is done by the our military forces, or what will be done for that kind of a thing? We know about that. So it is known as a Kusai public record, which is demanded by the public for a sensitive issue. It's a not a public issue. It's a public issue, but it's sensitive, and we have to publicize. We have to listen that we have two things of our National Assembly session, which is known as a public session, which is we see and online. But in some cases, we have to take the online in-camera session. By the only MNAs are attending that session, because this issue is the highly sensitive, and some aspect of that session is being publicly telecast by the ministers or the spokesmen or the MNAs on the public forum like press conference and etc. So you have to understand the Kusai public record and not for the private information. I hope you understand, guys. It is being very important point. You have to understand that. For all these notes, I move for the next slide. If you have any questions, so you can write on the chat box. But I will prefer to take your question on the question and answer session, which will be take at the last 5 minutes and so far. So for all these notes, I move to the next slide. Yes. Sorry, using the copied slide. Yes, of course, public record in libraries. Being as a librarian, if someone asks you, please collect the data of anything else, so you can you keep all the record in a public record? What's your idea, you guys? I just want to listen my future librarian. You can add the point. What level of record you will keep? All the records, all the information which is being generated by the public, all the session of the National Assembly, you can make your public record. Anyone who wants to add on the chat box? I just want to listen from you all, guys. That all records should be keep in the library. All information should be keep in the library as a public record. I need from your I need your feedback from you all, guys. What should record we keep on the public record? What record we should keep on the public? Anyone who wants to add? The library have the interest in the public, likely the history, culture, and literature. It's a very thank you for support me and feedback, valuable feedback by the Munib Ahmed. Awan, she's saying that the libraries will hold that's the interest of public, like history, culture, and literature. Libraries record on the national level of information, which have the national interest. Not all the information library keep as a public record. As mentioned, that the history related to our history, I will just talk about in a historical prospective record in the segment 4. Just I want to mention you national level record, like if you have conducted election It's a national level record. So we should keep that record, because national, if we have conducted census, recently the census of 2017 or result is officially approved by our cabinet, it is a part of our national record. If someone is saying that the population is that the Pakistani population is 22 million or 220 million, so we are not accepting that, because we have a national record and we have the national census and we accept it, and this record is officially acceptable. So library pick that record. Library pick the record, that census, as well as the record of elections. What will be happening in the 2018 election in the different constituency of Pakistan. I'm so much confused. Abdullah is saying, sir, voice is clear, and Abid Ali Shah is saying voice problem. But my energy is still continue from the minute 1 to minute 55 is remain. I'm speaking with the same pace and the momentum to entertain your class, but please check your internet connectivity, as well as maybe it's fault from my side. My Wi-Fi connection data speed will be dropped down in some time, and sometime from your side. So international level of information, and they're different. We have released the national budget. National budget is being very important instrument. What will we expend? So it's a public record. If someone is asking about that, what we have keep the education budget, what is our education budget in 10 years ago, in 2010, and what will the education budget is 2020. It's definitely a reliable, and it's a financial and related affairs like financial matter. What will be the rupee value in 2010, and what will be the rupee value in 2020? So it is a national level record, and some international level of record and international level of information. We have to keep it. There is the world is facing a and challenging phase in the pandemic situation, and we did not cut off that situation, and all the humanities are suffering that pandemic. And my wish and prayer, Almighty Allah save us from this pandemic and the COVID-19 coronavirus to you all guys, and please follow the SOPs and the instructions which is directed by our health professional, our health worker. So it is an international level of information, and every country need regarding the information of COVID pandemic, COVID development, how many cases is being infected in our neighborhood country. They are suffering from the shortage of oxygen. So it is we need the how many cases is being rises. So we have developed the strategy to save our people. We have made the restriction, plain restriction and whatsoever. So this is called the international level of information. What kind of development is being done regarding the development and the preparation of vaccination, and what is the impact of that vaccination, either that is a side effect or not. Similarly, we have the international affair relation information, like what will be the our foreign policy regarding the Kashmir issue, and how we presented it with the different side of the nation, and what are the different nation is saying on the UNM regarding that issue. This is called like an important public document, which is the referred by our country prime ministers and stakeholders is always saying that Kashmir should be resolved on the basis of United Nations of resolution, because it's a public document, which is fear that we will produce that document. So it is that type of resolution. If any resolution is being further discussed in the United Nations Security Council and or UNO, it's called the international level document, and we have to present it. So for we have to keep that kind of record. And then the third record, which is known as the research level of information. The research level of information we have, just I mentioned. Anfal is saying is Anfal Javed Malik. Please check your mic. Beside Anfal, anyone else who facing the voice problem, mention on chat box. So I will check myself. The rest of okay, we have the third segment, the research level of information. As I mentioned, that the research level of information, which is support over researcher, which facilitate our researcher. Either it can be a scientific information, or either it's related to the social science or the arts and humanities. If this information is being need to for the related to the public, so we should share, should keep that record as a part of our public record. Historical prospective documents, if you have find any documents, any belongings which is related to historical perspective, so we should make that record for the public perspective and public support. And the organizational record, if you have any organizational record, because suppose that you all guys, I'm working from Aga Khan University, so we have I have my own historical background, and I have keep my own organizational record. The first book we have the keep in my library, the first newsletter we have designed in our library, and what is the happening that, so every organization keeps their record, and these records are being the part of their archive. So today's public record is the part of your archive and your part of your history. So these are the 5 valid points, so and justifiable points, what record should be keep for the public and what record should not be keep on the public. I hope you will understand that what record should be keep on to the public level, or what record should be not be keep on the public. And this is probably the last slide of today's presentation, of the first part, which is known as a public record maintained. Who will maintain the public record? Public record is maintained by the libraries, and public record, and in library part, not as all sort of the segment or session is maintaining the public record. We have public record stations, we have archives, we have record rooms in libraries. These are being the stakeholder who maintain the library record. And archive center is also maintaining the library record. I hope, and museum is also maintaining the public record. Museum is not maintaining the public record in a shape of, I just explained, museum is not maintaining the public record in a shape of books, but they are maintaining the public record in a shape of objects and identities, objects like objects and archaeological material. They are saving antiquities and objects. They are saving museum. Museum are saving the antiquities and objects in their records. And similarly, independent public organization, different public independent organization, which we will read in the coming classes. We will discuss in the coming classes, who maintain the public records, and as well as some private organization. Their scope is maintained to the public record, or to maintain the public records. Like Pallard is one of the organization who is working on the transparency and who is working on the transparency and election free and fair election. This also maintaining that institution is a public record. Abid Ali Shah Saab is asking that you need presentation. So it is very difficult to manage or maintain from you. Take your guys' email address. I'm sharing my email address to you all guys. If you need my presentation, so you will email me. I will just respond you and send you email. If you require today's presentation, so I'm just sharing in chat box my email address. You can email me and you can get today's presentation as well. So Abid Ali Saab, I will resolve your problem regarding the presentation. So the format of public record is a printed material, manual records, and digital bound printed material, like in a shape of tweets, in a shape of Facebook post, and in a shape of the Word format, Excel format, PDF, and printed to digital. There is a huge project. We can work on that, the printed to digital material. So I am just going to wrap up. We have just 15 minutes to wrap up the session. So I'm just going to wrap up today's session. So we will come on the second part of today's presentation, and which is known as a real material. So real material is known as a irreplaceable material, or material is not easily available, or material is specified for any specific library. In a shape, a single material which is not available in any type of library, but which is specified for any specific library. So you will understand that what is the real material. Real material is in a case of the real. If you are clear, so should I move for the next slide? The types of the real material. The types of there are three types of real material, which is not first is known as the Inkabula, and which is known as the early printed books. It is being very important. Maybe that question is being asked from your in Vivas. Inkabula, what is the Inkabula? It is known as a early printed, especially printed before the 15,001. All the material which is being published from the 1500 before the 15th century, which is known as the Inkabula. I just mentioned that the public record in a sim, there is a norms of the public record to specify. I just mentioned that please email me, so I will share the presentation to you all guys. Don't write your email addresses on the chat box. I just mentioned you that your private entity, so please don't share it publicly. So it's up to you. If you want to share it publicly, it's up to you. It's your own hand. It's your own personal email address. It's your personal identity. Either you want to keep publicly or not. You want to take it privately. And then second type of material is known as the manuscript, which is known as a handwritten book. If any handwritten book which is mentioned on that, which is known as a real material, it can be rare because in the age of computers and printing machine, no one wants to write in the book from his or her own hand. And then some type of out of publication, out of print publication, and sometime which is material and books are being finished to publish, and no new version, no latest version is being published. It's someone who is belongs to the first generation of computers, someone who is asking that he has book regarding the typewriter manual. So I think so, because the typewriter is being finished from the offices and all is being shifted on the computer. So if any book is written on the typing manual, so what will be happen that is the out of print publication. Similarly, different novels which is being, you are seeing in the picture number 2, which is being stopped to publish. If a book is published in a 18th or 19th century, so which is not available in right now in the 21st century. So it is being not used by the public. If you have that kind of material, it is also called the real material. So these are the three types of the real material: incapsula, publication from the before 1500, and manuscript, handwritten book, and the out of printed publication, the books is stopped to publish. So how you acquired the real material? Question is that real material, how we get that? You can get the real material gift from the public, from your library friends. For if you have, they will gift you, because someone who has the wonderful calligraphy from the 13th century or 15th century, the person who is come to your library and saying, please take this calligraphy. Ministers are being moving around there from visited from different countries, and they acquire the real material related to the Pakistan, and they will after the coming to the Pakistan, they are gifted to the library. And then we have the donation. Some people are donate to the himself or herself their real from her real collection to take the to library to take as a donation and take that material for the library. And auction.